It's the baseball offseason once again, and again, the conversation of the DH has been brought up. Now, obviously, they cannot change the rule until a new collective bargaining agreement came up. But the question is, and it always becomes, should the NL add the DH to their side of the league? And my question always comes up is, maybe we should be asking, should the AL be removing the DH from their side of the league? After all, the game of baseball is a game where you go up and one team hits, one team pitches. When that team's done hitting, they all go out and they play on the field. Not one player, not two players, not three players. All 9 guys go out and play on the field. You would almost say, imagine, I can almost kind of think of growing up as a kid playing Little League Baseball and telling my coach, like, hey, I'm not going to play the field. I'm just going to, be a DH the entire game. How you feel about that? And he'd be like, yeah, you're just not going to play then, And not only that, I think there's, there's multiple ways to look at it. Like I said, obviously the reason they want to see the pitchers being removed out of the lineup is because they all bat like 100 or 115 or whatever it is. They bat very bad in their quote unquote easy outs. But from a National League enthusiast, you can say, hey, well, yeah, they are sort of an easy out, but at the same time, a good strategy. The reason you build your lineup the way you do, the talk of putting your pitcher in the 8 spot, the 9 spot, whether you pitch around the catcher, whether you don't pitch around the catcher, the way you plan the game is oftentimes based around the strategy of that pitcher being in the lineup. It adds extra strategy to the game, and a lot of people like seeing that extra strategy added to the game, considering it is just a game of, throw the ball to the plate and back. The more depth to it, the more entertaining it can be. Pitchers are easy out, sure, but I mean, it's crazy this is going to sound. Catchers are usually the slowest player on the field. Should we have a designated runner for the catcher every time he's at the plate? So we just have a guy standing next to the catcher as soon as he makes contact running for him, because he's the slowest guy in the field and you don't want him to get out as much. You want to get him on base. It sounds crazy. I get it, right? But the game of sports in general, we bring that up, is it's a game of sacrifices. The catcher is something we'll get back to in a second, but you talk about, basketball, a center. He's tall, he's big, he's a little clunky, but he's a great defender. He's good at blocking shots. He can get you them post shots. He can, because of his size, he can outmatch a lot of guys because of that. But on the other side of the spectrum, he's bad handling the ball for the most part. Most of them don't have the best hands on the team. Normally they have the worst hands on the team compared to everybody else. But that's a sacrifice you take of putting that guy at the center of the court. You look at hockey, a defender. Most defenders can't shoot the puck very well, right? They'll get 5, maybe 10 goals a year, but they're very good defensive players. Again, you sacrifice a guy that's not the most skilled player when it comes to offensive production because he's very good on the defensive side of the ice, where he goes out there and locks teams down and prevents them from scoring. You get the gist here. The pitcher, what the pitcher does? He's the defense. He's the guy that stops the other team from scoring, but you still bat him in the lineup, even if he's not the best offensive player on the team. But let's go back to catcher. I like talking catcher here because what happens if the pitcher gets taken out of the lineup? If the excuse for taking the pitcher out of the lineup is he's an easy out, he gets out all the time, he's by far the worst player on the team when it comes to the offense, what happens with the catcher next? Because for most teams, their catcher bats 230, 240, 220, and they are the worst player on the team. Hence the reason they bat 8th in the order or 9th in the order. So what do you say then next? Do we just continue going down the list until we're down to all 300 hitters in the lineup, or what? I don't understand. It's crazy to think. The sacrifice thing. The catcher, though, not the greatest hitter. He's gonna get hits, though. I mean, he's not as bad as a pitcher by no means or stretch of the imagination. But he goes out there, his job. Again, you sacrifice a lot of teams. First of all, maybe it's just not the easiest to find a very good catcher. But the goal of a catcher is to go out there, be a great defensive catcher, be a guy that can call a good game for his pitcher. And that's more important to a lot of teams. And then if you can get an average catcher, that's great when it comes to the offensive side of the ball. But should we just be like, hey, catcher, you're gone. See ya. You're not batting no more because you're bad. That's the thing, I think. You don't think of it. You can't compare it to like football, where you say, well, football, guess what? The quarterback doesn't play defense. You're right. The quarterback doesn't play defense. The entire offense doesn't play defense. Like if that's how you want to play baseball, maybe that's a different avenue. But it feels like you're changing the sport by saying, oh, one guy that fields doesn't get a bat, or one guy that bats doesn't have to field.